Family, loyalty, and power. These were once the pillars of the Bloodline, the unstoppable force that reigned over WWE with dominance and brutality for years. But when betrayal fractured their foundation, the empire built on blood and honor started to crumble. Now, one haunting question consumes the WWE universe. In a world where allies have turned into enemies, who can Roman Reigns truly trust? That question reached a fever pitch at Summerslam 2025, where a shocking twist involving Jimmy USO threatened to rewrite the legacy of the Bloodline forever. Was this a carefully orchestrated plan to dismantle the tribal chief from within, or was it the first ember of redemption, flickering with hope for a legendary reunion? Tonight, we dive into one of the most chaotic and jaw-dropping turning points in WWE history, a moment so layered and unpredictable it sent shockwaves through every level of the industry. This is Pink Sport, where we peel back the layers of betrayal, power, and loyalty to expose the truth behind WWE's most unforgettable chapters, and today we're breaking down Jimmy USO's game-changing decision to align himself with Roman Reigns once more at SummerSlam. Was this a genuine return to the Bloodline's core values, or a deadly trap wrapped in the guise of brotherhood? To grasp the magnitude of Jimmy's actions, we have to journey back to where it all began, the meteoric rise of the Bloodline, a faction unlike anything WWE had ever seen. It wasn't just a team, it was a dynasty forged in the fire of the Anoa'i I legacy. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, led the charge, flanked by his cousins, the Usos, and later, the silent enforcer Solo Sikoa. Together they held championship gold across divisions, silenced every rival, and etched their dominance into the annals of WWE history. Roman's title reign eclipsed 1,300 days. The Usos held the tag team titles for a record 622 days. They weren't just champions, they were untouchable. But cracks were inevitable in such an empire. The first real fracture came when Jey Uso began to question Roman's leadership. At Hell in a Cell, Jimmy threw in the towel to protect Jey from Roman's brutality. That act of brotherly love sowed seeds of distrust that would grow into full-blown defiance. By 2023, Jey had broken away, denouncing Roman with a now iconic "No Yeet" declaration. Then came Solo's betrayal at WrestleMania 41, aligning with Paul Heyman and a terrifying new faction. Paul, once Roman's trusted advisor, became the architect of a new bloodline, one designed to destroy the original from the inside out. With his allies gone and enemies closing in, Roman found himself more isolated than ever heading into SummerSlam 2025. Roman's match was set, a tag team war against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, two monsters backed by none other than Heyman himself. The WWE Universe was left wondering who, if anyone, Roman could call upon in this moment of desperation. Then, in a twist no one saw coming, Jimmy USO answered that call. The moment Roman turned to the camera and said, "Jimmy, I need you one last time," fans were sent into a frenzy. Could he really rely on the same man who betrayed his own brother at SummerSlam 2023 to secure Roman's win? Jimmy's Instagram reply, just 3 simple words, "I am in," only deepened the mystery. Was this an act of redemption, or a Trojan horse sent by Heyman to destroy what remained of Roman's kingdom? In the days that followed, tension built to a boiling point. On Raw, Breaker and Reed taunted Roman, calling him a has-been, promising to wipe out the last remnants of his reign. Heyman smirked with confidence, certain that his new creation would obliterate the tribal chief once and for all. But something shifted. Jey Uso returned out of nowhere to stand beside Roman, igniting hope in the WWE Universe. The idea of the brothers reuniting under Roman's command sparked electricity across arenas. Then Jimmy made it official on SmackDown, walking out to a deafening crowd and publicly pledging allegiance to Roman Reigns. He wasn't just joining the fight, he was standing behind Roman when the world least expected it. Heyman was livid. His calm, calculating demeanor cracked as he stormed out of the arena, furious that Jimmy had thrown a wrench into his plans. Was this the first sign that Heyman's master plan was beginning to fall apart? Or was it all part of an even darker setup that no one had seen coming? The SummerSlam tag team match was officially set, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the powerhouse duo of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But the wild card, Jimmy USO, wasn't in the ring that night. He was at ringside, watching closely, too closely. His presence added an eerie layer of unpredictability. Was he there to support? Or was he waiting for the perfect moment to strike? To understand what Jimmy's decision truly meant, you have to consider the risk on both sides. For Roman, trusting Jimmy again was a massive gamble. For Jimmy, standing by Roman put his own credibility and legacy on the line. It wasn't a black-and-white situation. If his loyalty was real, then maybe the bloodline could be reforged, stronger and wiser. But if this was a ruse, Roman's downfall could be seconds away. Jimmy's history shows he's torn between love for his brothers and his thirst for recognition. He's been used as a pawn before, and it's possible Heyman is manipulating him again. On the surface, Jimmy's dive onto Reed and Breakker during a SmackDown brawl seemed like a definitive act of loyalty, but in WWE, things are never that simple. Some fans believe Jimmy has turned a corner and wants to restore the family's legacy, especially with the Anoa'i name hanging in the balance. Others believe this is a ticking time bomb. That Summerslam was merely the first act in a larger betrayal that could reshape WWE forever. Whatever the truth may be, Jimmy USO standing beside Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2025 was a moment no fan will forget. The symbolism, the history, the emotion, it was all there. But we've learned from experience that in the world of the bloodline, even the most heartfelt moments can have knives hidden behind them. As the dust settles and WWE moves forward, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. So what do you think? Was this a real reunion or the calm before the final betrayal? The bloodline's future hangs by a thread, and Jimmy USO just may be the one holding the scissors. Let us know what you believe down in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a twist in this ever-evolving saga. Thanks for joining us here on Pink Sport, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the legends, betrayals, and shocks that keep WWE fans glued to their screen.